Hey there, comrades, welcome to Oceania, the happiest, most surveilled superstate on Earth. Here in good old Oceania, ignorance is strength, freedom is slavery, and Big Brother is always watching. No, seriously, he's watching, like all the time. He's basically the creepy neighbor of dystopian regimes. Imagine a world with no privacy, at all, where telescreens monitor your every move, even in your own home, where the thought police can sniff out a rebellious thought faster than you can say down with Big Brother. Don't worry, they're coming for me next. Sounds fun, right? It's not. Trust me on this one. Oceania is a world of constant surveillance, propaganda, and fear. It's a world where history is rewritten daily, and dissent is met with swift and brutal punishment. It's basically a cautionary tale about what happens when you let the government browse your search history. So buckle up, kids, because things are about to get bleak. Meet Winston Smith, our protagonist. He's basically the guy who wears a "This is what a rebel looks like" t-shirt under his mandatory party jumpsuit. Winston hates Big Brother, hates the party, and really hates his job at the Ministry of Truth. More on that later. He's basically a walking, talking example of question everything. Winston's a bit of a mess, to be honest. He's got a bad case of writer's block, a rebellious streak a mile wide, and a nasty habit of writing in his diary. Spoiler alert, not a good idea in Oceania. But hey, at least he's got a heart of gold, right? Or at least a vague sense of right and wrong, which in Oceania is practically the same thing. Winston dreams of a world free from Big Brother's watchful gaze, a world where he can think his own thoughts and not get vaporized for it. He's basically the dystopian equivalent of that friend who's always ranting about the man. But unlike your friend, Winston might actually have a point. Now let's talk about Winston's exciting career as a records editor at the Ministry of Truth. His job? To rewrite history. No, seriously. He spends his days altering news articles, historical records, and even literature to fit the party's ever-changing narrative. It's like Wikipedia editing, but with more fear and fewer cat pictures. Imagine spending your days deleting inconvenient truths and replacing them with party-approved propaganda. That's Winston's life. It's enough to make anyone cynical, even without the constant threat of vaporization. Seriously, these guys love vaporizing people. The Ministry of Truth is just one example of the party's complete control over information. They control the news, the media, even the past. It's basically like if Fox News, CNN, and your crazy uncle's Facebook feed all merged into one giant, terrifying entity. But wait, there's love. Because even in a dystopian hellscape, people need to feel something other than existential dread. Enter Julia, Winston's love interest. She's young, rebellious, and surprisingly good at hiding her true feelings from the telescreens. She's basically the queen of fake it till you make it. Their love story is a dangerous dance. They sneak around, exchange secret glances, and meet in secluded locations, all while trying to avoid the watchful eyes of Big Brother. It's basically Romeo and Juliet, but with less poison and more telescreens. Their love is a rebellion in itself, a tiny flicker of hope in a world shrouded in darkness. But as Winston soon learns, even love can be dangerous in Oceania, especially when you're dating someone who might be part of the thought police. Plot twist. Big Brother hates a good love story. The thought police have entered the chat. Remember the thought police? Those ever-watchful guardians of party ideology? Well, they're not exactly fans of Winston and Julia's little romance. In fact, they're about to crash their love nest harder than a SWAT team at a tea party. Winston and Julia's rebellion is short-lived. They're captured, separated, and subjected to the party's brutal methods of re-education. Think torture, psychological manipulation, and enough gaslighting to make even the most well-adjusted person question their sanity. The party's goal is simple: to break Winston and Julia, to crush their spirits and mold them into obedient party members. It's a chilling reminder that in Oceania even love is a threat to the party's power. Room 101, where your worst nightmares come true, and we're not talking about running out of coffee. Now let's talk about Room 101. It's basically the basement dungeon of your worst nightmares. It's where the party sends its enemies to face their deepest fears. Think spiders, snakes, clowns, you name it. Whatever your phobia, Room 101 has it in spades. For Winston, Room 101 holds a special kind of terror rats. We're not talking about the cute, cuddly kind either. The party uses Winston's fear against him, forcing him to betray Julia in the most horrific way imaginable. It's a brutal, heartbreaking scene that highlights the party's absolute power. They don't just want obedience, they want complete and utter submission. He loved Big Brother. Spoiler alert, it wasn't by choice. In the end, Winston is broken. He betrays Julia, embraces the party's ideology, and learns to love Big Brother. It's a chilling reminder that even the strongest wills can be broken under enough pressure. The novel ends with Winston, a shell of his former self, embracing the very system he once rebelled against. He's a cautionary tale, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope can be a dangerous thing. 1984 is a bleak and brutal novel, but it's also a powerful reminder of the importance of freedom, individuality, and critical thinking. 1984. Still relevant in 2024, sadly, because humans never learn. So what can we learn from this delightful little dystopian romp? Well, for starters, be wary of anyone who tells you ignorance is strength. Also, maybe invest in some good privacy software, just in case. But on a serious note, 1984 is a cautionary tale about the dangers of totalitarianism, surveillance, and the suppression of individual thought. It's a reminder that we must always be vigilant in defending our freedoms and questioning those in power. So, the next time you're scrolling through social media, remember Winston Smith. Remember the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of fighting for what you believe in. Because in the words of another famous rebel, rebellion is as American as apple pie.